Hello, welcome to the Daily Grind here on Latte Firm. It is Wednesday, the 20th of August, and our week and our world and our club is just falling apart. What is happening? James, hold me. Welcome to the show. I'm delighted to be joined by James, obviously. Welcome, man. How are you?
Thank you very much. I'm very, very well, thank you. As I said before the show, I'm dog sitting at the moment, so I don't have my usual setup, which means I've had to turn the light off because of the reflection, which means by the time it starts getting dark outside, we're going to have a conundrum whether we keep the light on, close the blinds, whatever. But most of all, I'm happy to be here and happy to be on speaking to the Latte Firm Ultra.
Well, mate, it is great to have you on board. And listen, we're not going to go that long that you're going to have to worry about the dark. These are the Daily Grinds. For those of you that are wondering what these shows are, the Daily Shows, do check out the channel feed. There's some awesome content out there. And it's been a really weird 24, 48 hours for Arsenal. We were on the high post Old Trafford. And then the surprise deal for Leandro Trossard yesterday just came out of nowhere, but it's beginning to make sense now. And then Kai Havertz, the injury news that has kind of really burst the bubble to what's been a really positive
Did
start to the
you
Premier League.
did you see the challenge that reportedly might have done it? Someone found it on Twitter, the
Ugarte.
Ugarte absolutely flying into him.
Yeah, deep into injury time at Old
Mm.
Trafford, no pun intended, of course. I've got a theory behind that, so I'm going to come back to you in just a second. Welcome to everybody watching in the chat. Welcome to all the Patreon members, channel members. Really great to have you here. And of course, everyone regular in the chat. Superb that you've made time for us on this slightly earlier Daily Grind. Dave's in the house. Says, I absolutely spat my dummy out at work when the Havertz news popped up on my phone. I told the lads on site that I had the hump and packed my tools and went home. That's the spirit, Dave. Yamin Yamal, welcome to the show. Yembele says, evening all. Desperately bad news about Kai. Looking forward to hearing what next steps are in people's opinion. Yeah, let me know, chat, what you guys think. What should Arsenal do? How are we going to react in the next couple of weeks, if we can react at all? Assad, my bro, welcome to the show. Says, same old shit every season. This project and process are completely in the gutter. Panic buy loan to end the window. Well, the noise coming out of Arsenal Football Club, James, over the last sort of 2-3 hours is that we've not got as much money as we'd all hope that we have, and it is a little bit loan FC. In fact, look, hold that thought. We're gonna get to the injury chat in just a second. Look, keep the chat active. First up, just a community message to those who are in the Patreon membership. There is, of course, an audience with Mikel Arteta and Steve Kerr coming up on Friday the 5th September at the Londoner Hotel. Latte Firm has hands on a pair of tickets that I'd love to give away to one of our Patreon members. If you are supporting the channel that way, then of course you are already in the hat. If you're not supporting the channel, head over to patreon.com/lattefirm, where for a price of a coffee a month, you can support the channel and be in giveaways like this.
That's a pretty exciting giveaway, may I
It's
say, to be a
insane.
part of.
It's insane, man. I'm really glad that you said that. It's a very intimate sort of audience with tickets are available for £85 each if anybody wants to sort of go there and just go on their own back. AlidaCollective.com/what's happening. Do check it out. But yeah, like I say, a pair of tickets. We might even get the chance to meet Mikel. Can't guarantee that, but that is what I'm praying for. But there is a pair of tickets there also. And also there were 5 tickets to Arsenal versus Leeds in the ticket chat that were available. I think 4 of them have gone, maybe all 5 of them. But if you are watching and you haven't tuned into that group chat, Patreon members, do get over there. Let's move on to the content. And that is, of course, the Kai knock and the Leo shock. Let's talk about Kai Havertz, James. Lots of people falling off their chairs at work this afternoon as the news broke. Now, as the news sort of matures and filters through, the news will break that it's hopefully not an ACL or an MCL. It is obviously something to do with his knee that's going to require a little bit of attention, and they need to decide whether there's going to be surgery or not. But we're all fingers crossed that it's not going to be a 6 month, a 9 month. Fingers crossed it's going to be a few weeks, but it could be maybe an extra few weeks depending on whether he needs surgery. Irrespective of how you look at it, after all the bulking season stuff that we've seen throughout the summer, and with Gyökeres arriving, we were so excited about what could have been this opening sort of 3 months of this Premier League season. It's a bitter blow, James.
Yeah, he was also very much a safety net that if anything did go wrong with Gyökeres, if Gyökeres didn't hit the ground running, we knew that Havertz brought a certain standard, a certain level. And especially considering the way he seemed to have bulked up this summer, which made him look more like a typical centre forward, I was really excited to see how he could use that body and where he could go from here. And the fact that we now have 3 strikers on a collective something like 750,000 a week, and only one of them is available is absolutely devastating. And you can kind of see why, from a wages sense, the club are reluctant to get another body in. But we need players. Otherwise, the same thing that happened last season is going to happen, and we're going to end up playing Mourinho up front, and we only have 5 senior front 3 members, which is not enough. So we need to get our act together a little bit in the window. And I know there was a lot of talk previously about stand our ground. We need to be able to create some principles through this window. I personally think, look, if money is the reason, sell Kivior, sell Vieira, make sure these guys go. I don't want to hold principles and leave ourselves short money-wise. We need to be able to bring in a proper attacker. And personally, we'll go on to this a bit more, but I think a left wing / centre forward hybrid would make the most sense.
Well, we'll talk about potential incomings in a second, but Jay, perhaps reacting to the opening of this show, glad no one is overreacting. Dare I be sensational? And it's not something that I do often on this channel, as the loyal viewers would know. If we don't react to Kai Havertz's injury, assuming it's 6, 10, 12 weeks, imagine it's the first sort of 2-3 months of this season, almost halfway up to Christmas, right? If we don't react and add any sort of centre forward, how confident are you that we can achieve some of the things that we want to achieve this season?
The problem is, there was already that air of doubt. Would we be able to challenge Liverpool when we were 1 attacker short? Now we're 2 attackers short. Now we really look light in attacking spots. And we kind of, there's almost a fear in my head that if Gyökeres doesn't turn out to be an upgrade on Havertz, I think he will in a pure goal scoring sense. But let's say that he doesn't turn out to be an upgrade on Havertz, then our attack has actually regressed since the start of last season, since last season or the start of last season, which is very, very concerning, considering the main emphasis this summer should have been, we have a 200 million transfer kitty, let's improve our attack. And it's interesting because it seems like the club have I saw a report earlier that says the club have identified the left wing spot as a potential spot for improvement, but we just don't seem to be acting on it. And we're watching Eze float by to Tottenham, and it doesn't seem like we're going to act. And whoever we do end up acting on, unless Arteta fully believes in that player, they're not going to help, because Sterling last season was as good as nobody in my eyes.
Well, you're quite right about Raheem Sterling, and there are a few people, you know, who have reached the end of their tether, and tongue in cheek, you know, can we bring Raheem back on loan? Not going to happen. I think, look, listen, again, without trying to be sensational, but it is devastating news for Arsenal. It's a bitter blow. Kai Havertz is a wonderful player. And of course, after the hamstring injury that he suffered last year, we were all hopeful that he'd come back stronger. And you could see from the pictures and some shades of pre-season training that he was just about there, and we were so excited at the prospect of Victor Gyökeres and Kai Havertz being 2 very different strikers, but finally having 2 available strikers. And here we are, you know, just 2 days into the new Premier League season after our first game, and we're looking ahead to tough fixtures now without this guy and with only 1 fit centre forward. The day just gets
much pressure. It puts so much pressure on Gyökeres as a centre forward.
It does. The day goes from bad to worse for Ham. Says awful news in the last 24 hours. Eating my homemade curry, and it tastes like ash in my mouth. The sun is grey. There is no hope anymore. Birds fly away as I walk past. The music doesn't even sound the same.
Speaking of curry, Faisal and I had it was my debut at Akbar's. If anyone has heard of the chain, you educated me on this. Apparently they're in most major cities other than London. And it was delicious. So
well, I'm glad you mentioned that, James, because I do have a slide dedicated to that as we try and lift the mood, lift the vibes shortly. Before we do that, let's talk about Leandro Trossard. It's beginning now to make sense because obviously Kai Havertz's injury was exacerbated against Manchester United. We just talked about the Ugarte tackle. Depending on who you follow and believe on socials, I've heard from a couple of close friends that Actually, Kai's been complaining about pain on and off for the last sort of 2-3 weeks. So it's maybe something that the club had in the back of their mind at the start of the summer. Maybe they were open to Trossard offers. Maybe they were open to a move for him and or maybe Martinelli. But now the deal is very much, look, we know what he's capable of. He is an additional forward. His game at 30 years of age doesn't really rely on pace or strength, and that's not going to go away. So let's just tie him down, keep him happy for the next sort of 2 years on a slightly higher wage, which may have been promised under some sort of gentleman's agreement. How are you feeling about it now, 24 hours on?
What I do feel strange is that I fail to believe that the Trossard deal has only happened because of this Havertz thing, because it seems like that would be a really, really quick turnaround. So I think maybe the Havertz news was partly released as an explanation, as an afterthought to the Trossard thing. I struggle to believe that Havertz got injured against United, and then all of a sudden, within a day or 2 days, we've signed Trossard onto a deal. Andrew from Arsblog, who was on the channel recently, he put it quite effectively, I think, in his blog, in which he mentioned it's likely and very possible that players like Lewis Skelly and Nwaneri were coming close or even becoming higher than Trossard's wages on his current deal. And to make a player like that happy is very, very difficult if he's on lower wages than those two youngsters. My rebuttal to that point would be that I just feel like our rivals, Liverpool, Chelsea, City, would say, okay, bye-bye. I don't think they would cave to the demands. I think they would say, well, we can find another winger of your quality who will accept those wages. So if you're not happy, find a new club. And because the problem is now, people weren't keen on signing him before. Apparently, he had a few suitors, but none that were satisfying us. And apparently, Trossard rejected a few of them. What makes us think on higher wages that we're going to be able to sell him? That's my concern.
Mate, I can't disagree with that. BX Gunner 81 says confidence is fading fast. And Lone Stars just called him a cheeky raspberry ripple. I don't know what's going on in the chat. Arsenal fans have completely lost their minds. And MF, you're right. NASA have just released new images of FK, which have now reached the surface of Pluto. My head was on Mars last night. It is on Pluto tonight. But look, Leo Trossard, look, if Kai Havertz is going to be missing for the next sort of 2-3 months, Leo Trossard is a good player. Can't deny that. He did have quite decent output last season. The only reason why I was open to him sort of being moved on in a proactive way is because he's a player who has value and he's a player that we could replace if we upgrade in that department. But that is not to be. And to your point earlier, James,
and takes up squad space as well. If there's a lot of talk about there's only limited squad space, then if we're going to upgrade the squad, we need to get rid of someone. And I'm not convinced Nelson will open up the spot for a new left winger.
No, I don't think so. Lone Star says Marino thinking, oh God, I'm back up front again. And yeah, to your point earlier, James, Gabriel Jesus, that is 2 out of our 3 orthodox centre forwards who are now out with injury. And lots of people wondering, when's Gabby Jesus back? I mean, he's training on the pitch, but he might need 3 or 4 months. So I can't see him back this side of Christmas, which means that we now go into the next 5 games, which are obviously very difficult. And the first half of the season with Victor Gyökeres as our only established centre forward. Now, there are options, James. We did buy Noni Madueke. I know that's not gone down well with some Arsenal fans, but he is potentially someone we can play on the left. I heard someone saying that we should play Saka on the left and Madueke on the right and maybe put Martinelli through the middle. I'm open to all of those ideas. I may be clutching, but we do have Gabby Martinelli. Is that something you'd like to see maybe as an alternative to Victor over the next few weeks?
I think the Martinelli shout is very, very interesting because the whole team is tailoring more towards that transitional play. I think it all of a sudden suits Martinelli at centre forward far, far more than it did previously when we were using that player as a pin, basically, and as more of a target man, like a link up. So it certainly does make sense. I think I would probably still have Trossard centre forward as my second choice, depending on the game. I'm gonna cop out and say that because I do think in games like Anfield away, I think Martinelli up front would be a very, very viable option, especially maybe if he came on as a sub. I don't think Trossard would be able to cause the Liverpool centre-backs enough trouble. But in a game where defence is going to defend deep and we need someone to come into the midfield, I'd probably go Trossard. So in all honesty, we still do have options, but the problem is the more you start assuming that this player can play left wing and centre forward, this player can, then you end up in the same position we've been in last season, where you get several injuries and then you have nobody left. And if we are going to challenge for the major honours this season, that is the primary thing that we cannot experience, is a shortage of players and a shortage of quality, most importantly.
Well, the Arsenal fans are now sort of, desperate for another signing. We've been flirting with the idea of Eze. It's apparently beyond us financially. We now have a situation where we only have that one fit striker. There's lots of names that are coming up through the cracks now. Do we maybe go and lump everything on Semenyo, Ademola Lookman? I don't actually know the sort of striker market. I don't even know who's available anymore. Alex Isak is there. Obviously, he's the dream. And obviously, if we were serious, we'd just go knock on Newcastle's door and have £130 million in a couple of bags. But we don't and we won't. So it'll be interesting to see how this kind of unfolds over the next week or two. But fingers crossed that Kai Havertz's injury is not as serious as we fear. There we go. There we go. Look at it.
Look at that.
It was just 2 days ago. Dan, by the way, YouTube channel member and Patreon member, thank you so much for your support. Says FK Akbars. I'm hearing it's a spot up there. Hope I spelt that right. And Yamin Yambele is confirming it is. And the lamb chops are sensational. There we are. Dobbo, just the top of his head there, just behind Wally, yourself and myself out in Manchester. It was only 2 days ago, but it feels like a distant memory already, James.
It does. It really does. The day after this, it was just, I had a very, very long day. I saw my cousin in the morning. Then the game itself was so stressful. I feel like I aged years while we were watching that in the stands. And then filling ourselves up with the Akbars after. I ended up napping on the sofa the next day. I not intentionally, just fell asleep. That day drained the life out of me. But this is why we support Arsenal. And as you can see, despite the online reaction to what went on during the game, we were all in very good spirits.
We were. It was a fantastic meal, and the food up at Akbar's, and it's available in most big city centres, as you say, Manchester, Birmingham, Newcastle, Leeds, Sheffield. Just haven't got one in London. But listen, just going back to the football, obviously Gabriel Magalhaes looking delighted. It was a good way to start the season. Gary Neville said, or feared the worst for Arsenal, thought that Manchester United were going to give us trouble, but it seems like we've got their number, James. Look at the last 6 games versus Manchester United. We come out very, very handsomely in those. And Mikel Arteta's record against the Big Six, unbeaten now in almost 2.5 years. What do you make of that?
It reminds me of an old quote of mine, which I got. Spurs fans weren't very happy at the time, but it did prove to be very, very accurate, which was, our floor is their ceiling. And that game really did kind of illustrate that. We were at our very, very worst. I don't think I've seen Arsenal play that bad in quite a long time. And that's highlighted in the stats as well. Our pass accuracy was as low as it's been in something like 6 years. I think as low as ever under Arteta. Yet they couldn't break through. They created 0 big chances. And I know it felt tough. It was a rough game, a few shaky moments. But they gave us the best they got at Old Trafford, and they still couldn't beat us. And Arteta's record against the Big Six, it's now unbeaten in 22, I think, which is sensational, genuinely sensational in the league. And Anfield is going to be a monstrous test. But if we get through that, you look at ourselves and you think, how are we not winning titles when we have this record against the Big Six?
Well, how we're not doing it is that we keep slipping over the smaller teams that were, historically, traditionally just fodder to us. We'd pump teams 3 or 4 very comfortably, and we'd always struggle against the big clubs. And now it's the complete sort of reverse, where we're so solid, so almost complete against the big teams that you'd almost back Arsenal every time we go into a Big Six fixture now. But it's the smaller games, the lesser games, and that's exactly why we added depth to the squad and brought in players like Madueke and Gyökeres, to helpfully kind of get us over that line. But it feels like it's going to be a bit of a stretch at the moment. By the way, if you've got any questions for James and me, please do get them in the chat. We will take some questions towards the end of the show. Let us know anything related to Arsenal football, life, it could be whatever. Go on.
Just one point on that game as well. At the back end of last season, we drew so many games when Gabriel was injured. And I just think people forget, because he's always been seen as it's Saliba, then Gabriel. I said it recently. I think Gabriel is our most important defender. Not necessarily best quality individually, but I think he's our most important defender. And I strongly believe that we would have drawn that game or even lost it had he not been playing. He was absolutely resolute at the back again. And this was coming back after however many months out. So genuinely incredible. And I'm glad to see that he gets his flowers. But I want it to continue because actually mentioning that him, Saliba, and Rice were all in the PFA Team of the Year. And with that core, we can beat anyone.
We can, and that moves us quite nicely on to the PFA Awards, which were, of course, last night. Look at the boys and the lady, the Queen, looking so excellent. Richard Garlick there as well. Don't know what he's doing there, but anyway. And then the PFA Team of the Year, which, as you guys can see on screen, Matt Sells, Virgil van Dun playing at right back alongside Milo, not Milos Kerkez, with Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes. I mean, look, the two best centre-backs in the game. That's the only way you're going to squeeze Van Dijk in. Midfield of Declan Rice, Ryan Gravenberch, which was a surprise to me, and Alexis McAllister with Mo Salah, no surprise with him, Alex Isak, and Chris Wood. Really good to get that recognition from someone who's not playing at one of the sort of, big traditional clubs. So what did you make of the team? What did you make of the awards? Mo Salah, of course, winning it for the third time in his career.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they put Van Dijk at right back when Caicedo was Chelsea's right back, who is not competing with Declan Rice, can I say? So they can stop putting them in the same conversation, because time and time again, the players, the fans, the football writers continue to put Rice on that top pedestal. So no matter what bitter Chelsea fans can say, he is worth his weight in gold. And we are so blessed to have that core. And they are all in their prime now. They all have several years left in their prime. But I do want to see us kind of taking advantage of that more. And I think we saw a little bit of it in the United game and a little bit pre-season. We should be willing to let teams attack us, because both of those centre-backs and Rice are so good against the transition that, okay, if we're struggling to attack, leave more attackers forward. Get Martinelli isolated against the fullback. Get Saka isolated in the fullback. And then we hopefully can score more goals and stop having these really close games where we're battling for 90 minutes, which is physically and mentally fatiguing. So the idea was there against United. The execution was way off for a number of reasons. But I want to see more of that. I do want to see us being brave out of possession, because we are blessed with the best core in the league.
We are, and they are, and these guys have to win a trophy at some point. I'm praying desperately that it is this season. Let's go to some questions, James. If you're watching, tuning in, hundreds of you watching live on YouTube right now, very grateful for you guys tuning in on this Wednesday night. Do subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content, and drop the video a like. If we get to 500 likes tonight, that would be awesome. First up, Keenan says Wissa would be a fantastic backup. £40 million is kind of crazy. What do you make of the Brentford wide player? Is he someone that would float your boat?
He's decent. I just don't think that's what we need right now, because again, come Christmas time, if Jesus is still on the books, then we would have 4 strikers and 2 of them who were not versatile at all. So kind of makes sense. But I think if we go for a 40 million striker, Ollie Watkins would have been the one. I think that ship has sailed now anyway.
Well,
we'll see. But I personally be looking for more of a versatile attacker. Maybe just a pure left winger and shift Martinelli up front, or maybe a left winger who can also play false 9. And I have an obvious favourite if the finances allowed it.
Go on. Who's that?
Rodrigo. It has been since the start of the window. I think you get what you pay for, and with all due respect to Semenyo, who's a very good footballer, talented footballer, I just think Rodrigo, who scored 5 goals in the Champions League the last 3 seasons, I think he's top 10 Champions League scorers the last 3 seasons, is someone that is waiting to explode if he is platformed in the right way. And people will say, oh, look at his league goals at Real Madrid. He was playing right wing. He was playing second fiddle to so many players. This guy has so much talent. If you trust that, I think we would get a lot out of him. And as George often says,
I can't believe we've lost James. Have we lost James? James, yeah, I'm sure he's going to say something profound. Adamola Lookman is the shout from Boy Mohangi. I'm not sure. I know he's had a number of spells in England, obviously out in Italy. Did really well the season before last, I think. I'm not sure how much he'd cost. I don't know sort of what age he is. I'm not sure. That is what will happen. Look, the number's dropping now just because James is gone. Stay with me. Mitrovic on loan, not sure. Nate says, Eze going to Spurs, Isak to Liverpool. Now Havertz is injured. Genuine question, are we cursed? Well, look, we're cursed injury-wise. We lost Tomiyasu, Jurriën Timber, Kai Havertz, all in game week 1 of seasons gone by, and that is desperate bad luck. Mohamed's just shouting out Semenyo. What a performance he had at Anfield. That second goal, incredible. The way he sort of eats up the grass and just runs with such direct sort of intensity and assertiveness. Fantastic player. James, welcome to the show, says Latte. Thank you, my man. Appreciate you. Really appreciate that. Vig says Saliba, player of the season. Player of the team. Player of the season. 4 seasons in a row. Once in Liga and 3 times in the Premier League. I know he's got to win. He's got to be part of the biggest honours in this game. Otherwise, his contract might be very difficult. Henkeho says, what's your starting 11 for Saturday? I think it's probably going to be the same as Old Trafford. Maybe the only exception. Ben White's obviously going to be injured. So Timber coming in at right back. Maybe Miles Lewis-Skelly plays left back. Excuse me. Victor Gyökeres has to play up front. Saka Martinelli. Yeah, probably the same team, I think, if Declan Rice has recovered. And did you hear, guys, Zubimendi was apparently sick with a tummy bug, and he sort of raced back to coming back. I wonder if that sort of spread over the camp as well. Dan, welcome, says, would you put a cheeky bid in for Mateta? What a player this guy is. Would I put in a cheeky bid? I mean, I'll be honest with you. The lack of forwards that we have, I'd be open to any sort of established striker. Mateta's a really good player. We should be, looking at players like that, irrespective of having a shortage up top. Boy says Watkins, Lookman, Muniz, and Anthony Gordon. I like Ollie Watkins. James just said before he disappeared that Ollie Watkins, potentially the boat, has left the dock. The ship has sailed. I'm not sure. It depends on how much Villa would want for him, but Ollie Watkins is a really good player, and he's an Arsenal fan, of course. Jason W says the things I would do for Rafa Leao. I mean, there's been lots of talk about his work rate off the ball, out of possession, but there's no denying that on the ball he can be on his day a demon. Technically very good, loves to run at his opposition fullback, very talented, beats his man for fun. Something that Martinelli just can't do. Physically, very, very big. Who knows? Peter says Rodrigo covers 3 positions: left, wide forward, striker, and right wing. Rodrigo, I'm just not sure. Maybe the club is, sort of dreaming of a deadline day loan plus option or obligation to buy. I don't think the money's there to pay 90, 100 million up front. £300,000 a week he wants. He's going to want to be a regular as well. I'm not sure. I think the interest is genuine, but I don't know what we do with that. Dustin, great shout. Karim Mitoma, he's a lot older than you'd think. It feels like he should be 23, 24, but I think from memory he was 28. Mind you, that said, that's a good age, prime age for you to come in and just, do some damage. He's a fine player. Obviously has that sort of thesis or PhD, whatever it is, in dribbling. Yet he is 28 years of age. I wonder how much Brighton would let him go for. They are very, very shrewd when it comes to business. So I'm not sure that's going to happen. Another shout for Semenyo. James says, StreamYard booted me out. I'm not sure what happened there, James, but thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. If anybody wants to follow James. Oh, here he is. What do you mean it booted you out? What are you talking about?
I don't know. No, honestly, I don't know. It kicked me out.
Now.
My internet was fine. I couldn't do anything.
You're back now.
Yeah,
you're back now. Here's a question for you. Leeds United on Saturday. Would you start Noni Madueke over Gabby Martinelli?
No, I don't think I think Martinelli needs confidence, and I think that would be an unnecessary moment to kind of knock his confidence. So we don't. If it was a tactical decision and we needed one of them to win, then I'd suggest, okay, sure, start whoever's tactically a better fit. But I think don't knock Martinelli's confidence in this moment.
No, I think you're right. I think Martinelli should start, and I think I'm hoping that we have just a nice
Wait,
day out, comfortable win.
what's Ornstein Bomber? Stop it.
Oh
Stop it.
God, where's that coming
On
from?
Eze, on Eze. Is he winding us up? A few people have said it.
Well, what's going on?
Wait.
Read it to me, James.
Oh! Exclusive. Arsenal make move for Eberechi Eze, plus 27-year-old wants him. Tottenham lined up deal with Crystal Palace today. And player, but after Havertz injury, AFC now closing in on England International. If he proceeds with choice, Tottenham Hotspur FC will come on!
Come on! Vamos! Oh, yes!
Even a face like this.
Eberechi Eze. Oh! Yeah! Come on, it feels like a goal. It was like a goal. Oh my word! We are witnessing.
Do you know what's so annoying?
Hang on. What's annoying? Talk to me, James.
Just before I got kicked out, I was about to say, what about Eze? Why can't we still go for Eze? He still solves the left winger issue.
Oh my God, it's actually true. I'm just getting it. This is incredible. This is content right here, live coming at you. Look at the excitement. We are going for Eze, says Mike Jones. OFMG, I can't even read anymore. Let's fucking go. Oh, James breaking the exclusive. Look at that. This is unbelievable. Keenan's crying. He's crying. Dan's in the house, just shouting yes.
The funny thing is, we've been like waiting. We were all saying, "All right, Spurs do the negotiations. We jump in, surely." By the way, the announcement that we can do is gonna be.
Wait, I don't even. Sorry, viewers, those of you that have been watching for a long time know that I always have a script. I always have slides. This is impromptu. This is excitement. This is, wow. Bomba. Live reaction. Look at this. FK, do you know what? I'll be honest with you. I don't even know if I'm in the same galaxy as half of you lot at the moment. This is special. Arsenal, right. What a football club. What a football club.
You've got a donation.
Right,
let me turn the light on. Because I feel like it's getting a bit dark in here, and I feel like
decorum. Let's just breathe. Woosa, pressure points. Let's go. Keenan, no fucking way. Joe has very kindly donated Orly Bomba. Vamos! And you know what? Please tell me they paid for his cab for the medical as well. That lot up the road. Oh, Mikel Latte is getting a lot of love as well. Hang on, let's go to the super chat. Joe, thank you so much for your very generous donation to the channel. What a great feeling it is to just be in this moment with you guys right now. We deserve this. Says have to celebrate with a cheeky donation. First time watching along live, and this happens. Incredible. Come on, you gunners. Eze 10. Let's fucking go, James. This is insane.
Yeah, we needed this. We needed this.
So needed it. I'm so happy. This is, mate. Wow. Call out boy, thank you also for your very generous donation. You've been such a loyal donator to this channel, man. I'm truly humbled. Says I'm feeling generous in light of the bomber. Come on.
Just imagine also that game against United, the way we were struggling in transition. Imagine Eze in that attack. He would not be wasting those chances. He knows what he's doing.
Ebbs, my boy Ebbs. Eberechi Eze is coming to Arsenal. Do you know what this means?
Yes. Oh, they thought they had him. They bottled it again.
He's so good. Oh my God. Luke says, I love the authentic reactions. Do you know what? When you disappeared, I was thinking, right, I've got about 3 or 4 minutes to just wrap this up and take a couple of questions. And we were talking about Lookman and Mateta. And listen, I rate the questions. I love the questions. And then I thought, what a shame James isn't here. Then you sort of came back on and it was just meant to be.
The timing was incredible. Also, you're going to have to change the thumbnail for this.
I'll be honest with you, James. I might even have to go live again later tonight. I might have to bring the boys back for a late night latte because this is too much. I can't. I just.
Well, wait. We need to. Has anything else been reported apart from the Ornstein one?
Ornstein is the guy.
Of course. But I'm wondering.
But.
So Arsenal make move for Eze and 27-year-old wants them. Did you see the video that came out recently of of him when he was younger, saying like, "Oh, I support
Yeah,
Arsenal." They're like, "Would you
yeah,
ever join Spurs?" He was like, "Nah, don't ask me
never.
that."
He said, "I'd never join Spurs." Can I just? What's the Eze celebration he does? Is it that?
Is it a cross? Is it a cross?
Oh mate, I'm so happy. And the number 10, James, the number 10, the number 10.
Yeah,
I
surely.
mean,
For an Arsenal boy. Oh,
oh
we're monopolising this England side, by
wow.
the way. We could now
We,
make an England 11 of
I
Saka
know.
right wing, Eze attacking mid, Madueke left wing, Dowman, Nwaneri, Rice, White, Lewis Skelly left back.
Oh my God, Latte
We're gonna
Steve.
win the World Cup, mate.
We're winning the Arsenal going to win the World Cup. We are so emotionally unstable. It's beautiful drama. I mean, are you not entertained, people? Andy, and breathe and breath, breathe. Eze, my glorious king. Wow. I don't even know what to say. Hang on a second. We've had some Dave, who is a channel member and YouTube Patreon member. I can't even get my words out. Has gifted 5 further Latte Firm channel memberships. Grab them while you can. Keenan, who's crying, and whilst he's in tears, has also sent a very kind donation to the channel. Says, "I'm shell shocked. I take back everything I've said about Berta, Arteta, Kroenke. Beating Spurs to Eze feels better. It's bigger than the Europa League, let me
I
tell you."
just love the thought that Spurs have spent the last 2 weeks going, right, so yeah, are you happy with this payment structure, this payment structure? In fact, just an hour or two ago, there was a report saying Spurs wanted to give Richarlison and
I know, mate.
sign Visser
It's
and Eze the other way. They've done all that, and we've gone, all right, lads, we'll take it from here. We'll be having him, thank you.
Do you know what? I just need to. I've been getting pelters on WhatsApp all day, and Assad, my boy, you know I like you, man, and I rate you. But he's been sending me like, I think his last message was so critical of Arsenal. I just need to send him an audio note. My boy, that's all he's gonna hear. Hang on. My boy. Oh, I'm so excited. I can't even. I just can't even hold that Spurs. Hold
I'm
it. Know your place. Stay in your
Does this mean
lane,
he's definitely joining us then? I'm nervous. He
mate.
really wants us,
If
so
all he
surely we
says,
make it
Arsenal
happen.
have made the move and he wants us, and he's mate, the stories, the Hayland Academy, the story. Oh mate. Oh mate. I don't even know what to say. I'm so hyped. I am so gassed. Look at the joy. Just
Do
look
you
at
know
the
what?
joy, James. Isn't
The
this?
chat,
I wish I could
someone
bottle
said
this up.
as a 10 shirt for the Patreon members as a giveaway. Maybe if a few more people join the Patreon, then Pfizer
You
will
know what?
consider doing that.
You know what? Let me say it to you right now. We'll get the Mikel Arteta giveaway out of the way. If Eberechi signs whatever number he takes, and it will be number 10, I will gift a Patreon member an Eze 10 shirt.
Yeah, I'd
Because
say,
it's
hey,
deserved.
look, the Patreon perks are hotting up for the start of the season, so get on it.
They are.
I'm gonna join a Patreon after this.
Yeah, you should. And then when you win something, it will look like a fix, which is probably not the way to go, but there we are. We are fogging cooking. Oh my God. Thank you so much. This has been so much fun. I really appreciate it. Dave, please stop. I don't know if this is again, or if this is just you, or if I'm just catching up with the channel feed, the chat. But the donation to the channel memberships is fantastic. Really, really appreciate it. Keenan, obviously. I don't know what's going on here. Fab's just
Fabrizio,
posted.
yeah. I was just about
What's
to
he
say
said? Come on,
this.
read it out. Read it out. Let's
Arsenal
go.
have approached Crystal Palace today to sign Eberechi as a surprise move follows Havertz knee injury as AFC try to offer more to both player and Palace to try to win race against Tottenham. Negotiations underway, as David Ornstein reported. So Fab
Oh
said we
my God.
offered, yeah. Well, if we offered more, then they're done for. Spurs are done for. It's just a matter of time now.
It is, surely. I'm just expressions. I can't wait to see his content. We got bigger fish to fry. I can't wait to see it, mate.
He solves so many from a tactical
Oh,
level. And Pythag, who is commonly on the show, he's done a video specifically on Eze, so you'll have to get him on.
has he? Mate, I can't wait. We're winning the lot, James. We don't have any strikers, but we're winning the lot.
But that does mean that
Whew.
Martinelli or Trossard centre
Yeah.
forward option.
Yeah.
I think the Trossard thing must have been somewhat linked because Trossard and Eze makes a lot of sense.
Dean. now. There's always one.
I'm not sure about that.
Listen, if we don't end it at some point, this is just going to go on forever and ever. Andre just says, I love my life. Ham. Where's Ham? Here he is. I can't believe I missed this live bomb, but there he was at the start of the show. My life gets from bad to worse. His curry tasted like ash and the music wouldn't play and birds were flying past him walking home. And here he is, Eze 10, Arsenal. Oh, I don't know what else to say, James. There's nothing I can say. This moment, and it's such a privilege to be able to share it with people watching live. You know, we always do the match reactions after the game.
Has this ever happened? Sure.
No, no. I mean, this is a Bomba live.
There we go.
It's never happened. I don't think it's happened.
Go.
There's been
Get him in. Get him in before
stuff.
Anfield. Get him in before Anfield.
Do you know what's really funny?
I
wonder if Sammy Mockbell knew this all along, right? So last night, before coming on air on the Daily Grind, I meant to text Sammy, and I by mistake called him, and he's calling me repeatedly as if like, you know, because he's so helpful, so super nice. And I was live on air, and he's like, mate, I'm at the PFAs. I'm like, I'm just about to go into the after party, and I was like, oh, let's get you on the show. And then this morning he was like, I'm really rammed today, but I will let you know tomorrow what happens. And I think he maybe knew that something was going to happen. I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure.
Oh.
This channel is exciting, and it's a first for me. Thank you, man. And do you know, it's wow. This is the best U-turn in Premier League history.
Oh, if we announced him before the Leeds game, by the way, that would be that. All of a sudden, everyone's going to be scrambling for tickets.
Mate,
everyone will be like, I wasn't going to go, but now I want to go.
I'm sure in one of the group chats, I even said to a friend of mine as a joke, we're going to unveil Eze at halftime against Leeds. I'm going to frame that message. I can't.
Fine.
I mean, this is just insane. This is insane. Honestly, Nate, I feel so privileged. I feel privileged to have been sat here, enjoying and sharing that moment with you.
Imagine if I wasn't here. I just about got back in time. Imagine if I missed it.
I would. And you know what? Just as you were backstage, I got the little ping. I was just about to go to the media assets and get ready to press the goodbye and the video jingle, and then I probably would have seen Bomba in the chat. And then you joined, and what a day. It's so wholesome. I'm so happy. Right. I think we all need to just breathe, go and have some dinner, go and rub it into our Spurs supporting friends' faces and just rejoice. So we're going to leave it there. Chef's kiss indeed. Oh, Eberechi Eze, I'm going to fall in love with you, my friend. I cannot wait to see him. Eze 10 lining up for Arsenal. The North London derby is going to be fire. Let's just leave it there. If anybody wants to follow James, he's available at AFCJXMES. Thank you so much for everybody tuning in. There are hundreds of you watching live right now. If you've enjoyed the content, I promise it's not always like this, sadly, but if you've enjoyed the content, please do subscribe to the channel, drop a like on the video. Let's see if we can get to 500. And thank you also for all the generous super chats and the memberships, donations, Dave in particular, and all of the kind chats that we've had throughout the show. It really makes it all worthwhile. I'm just now going to go and glue myself to Sky Sports and just drink in the timeline. That's what I'm going to do. James is available. I think I've already done that, but let's do it again. AFCJXMES. And of course, if you want to engage with me, F Carnage on the socials. We'll leave it there. Look after yourselves. Enjoy. Don't get carried away. No, sorry. Get carried away. These are the standards. Vamos. See you tomorrow.
Here we go.